The most important part and the hardest part to the follows is to stop thinking. Uh, I think it's a thing of course, everyone is like always thinking, but but I think for the girls, we are kind of used to do to think about everything, what is next, what we have to do, uh, and when you know that you can do it, you just do it, right? Uh,
Hey, all right. So I am now on the line with a Miss Galitzine
yes.
Kizomba. Hey, how much I said it right?
Yeah, yeah.
Hey, so you are a professional contemporary dancer as well as a Kizomba, Semba, Tarraxinha, Cuban salsa, and AfroHouse dancer and instructor. You've been a dance instructor since 2006, and you are one of the pioneer dancers for Kizomba in Mexico. Um,
Yes.
so you were born and raised in Mexico City. Is that correct?
Yes, born and raised in Mexico City.
Sure enough, sure enough. How are you doing today, Galitzine? Gal, I'm gonna call you Gali.
Gali, that's good. Some people in USA, all people tell me Galitzine without the E, right? I'm pretty
So
good, thank you. And you?
I'm doing good. I really appreciate you taking time out to talk to me. I really do.
Well, I appreciate you to invite me to do this interview.
Hey, of course, of course.
Thank you.
So real quick, for myself and others, I don't think I've ever actually even had a chance to visit Mexico, so let alone Mexico City. I'm very curious to hear how was your childhood growing up in Mexico City?
Well, my childhood, I think it was really good because I had I had I lived in a place that I could go out and play with with the people, with my fellows in the street, the kids in the street. So I mean, maybe I go out and at 10, 12 in the morning, I was like, okay, I have to go because it was, I don't know, really really good for us to go on the street to play. So my childhood was really good. My school was really good. As a child, I really enjoy it because I don't know. You can play everywhere. You can play with your how do you say, my friends, my friends in the street. So I love it. I think now it's a little bit different, but everything changed. But I think at my time was really good.
Um, why do you say things are different? Like, what has changed?
Because I think now, I don't know if maybe because of the internet, because of the games. Everyone now don't go out playing. So I think now I remember a lot of games. In Mexico, we have a lot of games. With the, I don't know, how do you call we call it tiza, the white thing where you write on the floor or in
Oh,
the
like chalk?
shock. I don't know. I have never thinking in English that word.
Okay, I think so. Tisa. I think it's like chalk that you go right on the ground with it.
Yeah, it's like a tiny pen. I don't know.
Yeah,
It's
yeah, like
not
chalk.
pen.
Yeah, you go right outside. Yeah, chalk.
Yeah, for the teachers. So we had a lot of games to play in the street with this stuff, and now it's only games, only internet, only, I don't know, many things that I think that the kids now don't really enjoy the the how do you call it, childhood.
Yeah, childhood.
Yeah, their childhood, because they don't have enough of things to play or to enjoy in the street without being on the screen, and that's it.
Nah, I definitely understand.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this then. You kind of were speaking on it. Going back to your childhood, what were some of your favorite hobbies? What did you enjoy doing?
Well, yeah, I enjoyed to play with my friends in the street. I loved to play. We call it escondidillas. You know, it's to hide and
Like hide and seek.
hide and seek. Yeah, hide and seek. I love to play that because I have always been like a kind of a sport girl. So I always find the better places to hide. You know, behind the I don't know some truck or to climb and to go inside the truck. I don't know wherever I just hide and I loved it. I also love I don't know how do you call it in English. Atrapadas. It's like to go and to grab someone to run and to grab someone. You know, like how do
Like
you call it?
oh, like tag.
Tag.
Like tag. You're it. You tag them and then you like run away.
Yeah, you have to run and then someone grabs you and now you have to
Yeah,
help them.
yeah. It's
You know,
called tag. Or like you're it. Yeah, yeah.
tag.
Exactly.
Nice. I'm learning now English.
Um,
Yeah, I love those. I love those games. I have always been kind of a sport, and I have always skate roller skate since I was a child, really child. I still do it. So
I don't
I
really
think
see too
we'll
many
be
people roller skating.
skating. Sorry.
Oh no, I said yeah. I don't really see too many people roller skating anymore. That's not as popular.
No, it's not as popular, but it's really cool. Now I use it as a transport me- way of transportation. But I used to go with my sisters, my brothers, to go to roller skate, and also the same thing that I told you, like in the street, but with the skates. You know, to go and to tag someone, and then they have to help you, blah blah blah, whatever. I loved it. I think that will be it.
Hey, now I understand. That's perfect. Let me ask you this.
I want a toy truck. What? But Santa Claus. Oh, hold on one second, Santa Claus. I'll be right back. Hey, if you could leave a like and subscribe for the show, that would be amazing. Let's get back to the episode.
Let me ask you this. Going back to your childhood, how important was music growing up in your household?
It was really important. It was really really important because I remember hearing it since I don't know since I was a child. My my mom and my dad hear a lot of music, different music. You know, I don't know if you saw these records that says Putumayo and those music from the world. You know, it's like a record. You know, like CDs from a record that it brings music from all over the world. So I remember since I was a child hearing music from every places, and my mom and my dad, you know, from always they loved singing, and I love singing too, right? So all the music in since I was a child was really important. I remember. I was in fact like a week ago or 2 weeks ago, I was thinking that I remember that my mom when she used to tell me like if you don't do this, I'm not gonna let you do whatever stuff. She always used the music to tell me if you don't clean your room, whatever, you're not gonna listen to music anymore. And I was like, no, please don't do that. Do whatever, but don't take out the music from me. And I remember to telling her that like mom, please not the music because the music for me is like my battery, you know. So if you take out my the music is like how I'm gonna move. I don't have the battery for to move. And I was thinking like 2 weeks ago, how can I be a child and telling these kind of things, right? Like it's like my battery. I cannot live without the music. So definitely it was really important. Every kind of music. I know this the lyrics. Right now I still know a lot of the lyrics that I hear like from a long time ago. All the people is like, you know that song? It's like, yep. I don't know why, but I know that song. So yeah, really important.
That's awesome. That's really cool. And I understand. I can relate to music being your battery because I mean, yeah, me and canto música también. I love music, so
Yeah,
I'm right there with you.
it's it brings you to life. It's like wow, it changed. Sometimes transport you to another worlds or something. It's really cool. From I was hearing. Now I'm in Kizomba, right? But before I was in Cuban rhythms, and before the Cuban rhythms, casino, well, timba, and all that stuff, some Cuban song. Before that, I was hearing reggae music, and I loved reggae music. And my mom told me like since she loved to see me dancing reggae, because she thought every time I was dancing and listening to reggae music, she can see me that I was like in another world. And I remember that like that I loved reggae because I used to say I think I feel that it transported me to another place. So when my mama tells me that, like when you was a kid, I love to see you dancing reggae because I can see you that you transport yourself to another place. And I was like, wow, you can see that. And I was a child, like 9 years or something like that.
Let me ask you this. You kind of brought up your mother. I'm very curious to hear from you. Well, let me ask you this: where are your parents from? Are they both from Mexico City as well, or from Mexico?
Yes, both from Mexico City. Different parts of Mexico City. My mom is from a city called, well, it's called Colima, and it's on the coast, on the lower coast, on the east. I don't know how to say. I don't know how to say it in English. I'm
That's
like,
right. No, that's right. You said it right.
and my dad was from um, oh, Michoacan.
Okay, okay. Let
So
me ask.
different places that they met in here and
So let me ask you this real quick. Then I'm very curious to hear from you. What was it like growing up in that household with two parents? Both. I said, what was it like growing up in that household with two parents from Mexico City or from Mexico? What was that household like?
well, both from Mexico. I mean, it was a lot of music, a lot of really delicious food. My mom is like the best chef in the world. So it was really good. My mom she has been always like really how do you say warm, a warm person. I don't know how to say it. Cariñosa, we say. Like she's always like a loving person. Also, she likes to everything on point, and like she always telling you what to do or what not to do or whatever, helping me with the homework or whatever. She's really wise. So every time I was wondering something, I asked to my mom, and she was like this and this, and I was like, okay. I don't know. I don't even have to go to the dictionary. And my dad also, he was really, how to say, he reads a lot.
Oh yeah.
So he, every time I need help with mathematics or something, he was helping. And he was more like like military. You have to do this, and don't say no. Like it's like, okay, yes, I'm going. So we have like the balance, between everything. And well, I love that. My dad used to travel a lot because of the work. So my mom was the one that was more in the house, right? But my dad, even from wherever of the Mexican republics he was every time on the phone, like, how is everything? So it was really good. I loved it.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. That sounds awesome. I'm very curious. I guess, are you a single child? Do you have any siblings or anything?
Sorry again.
Uh, are you a single child? Do you have any siblings?
I have
Hermanos or hermanos?
one one sister and two brothers.
Okay,
All of them are bigger than me, older than
okay,
me.
okay. So you're the baby of the family.
Yeah, I'm the little one.
Okay, sure enough, sure enough. So yeah, so you're growing up in Mexico City. I'm very curious. You kind of already spoke on it, but is is dancing something that you've always done?
Well, yes, I have always danced. I have never thought it as a way of living, as a professional career. But I have always dancing in, I don't know, parties or in my house, or sometimes when the Day of the Mothers, Mother's Day was 10th of May. My sister used to like make a choreo because she was older than me, so she makes a choreo with another girls and I, and we dance for the mothers on their day. So I mean those kind of stuff, but I never thought of dancing since I was a child. I think it's because of the society. You don't they don't give you this option as a living. So you never think of dancing as a career, as a way of living. You have to discover it with the time.
I definitely understand that. A lot of the people I talk to, they never imagined that they could make a living off of dancing. So I understand that.
Yeah, and if you think about it and you tell someone, it's like, okay, but how are you gonna live? And you're like, I remember too when I discovered that, I was like, okay, even if I'm a doctor or whatever, if I'm a bad doctor, if I don't move, if I don't work or study or I don't know, whatever, I'm not gonna be living well. You know what I mean? So I thought, whatever I study or I do for a living, if I'm good, I'm gonna be living good. So whatever.
I understand. I definitely understand that. Um, Let me ask you this real quick. I guess I'm very curious to know. I guess growing up in Mexico City, um, a lot of the things I see about Mexico, are kind of dangerous. I'm very curious. Was Mexico dangerous for you growing up there?
Well, no, I think it wasn't, and I have to tell you that where I was living, it was like we call it a red zone. It's like a dangerous zone, right? So I used to live in a zone like that, but I mean I just told you, like, I remember being playing as a kid at 12 in the morning in the street, right?
Wait,
So
real quick. What part of Mexico City did you grow up in?
it's called Providencia. It's like a north zone on Mexico City. It's really close to the all the red zones, because it's a little bit more on the corners, like more on the outside Mexico City. So, but even though I remember never had like uh, a trouble or something. Maybe older a little bit. My brothers, they had they suffer like
Yeah, yeah, robberies, definitely.
robberies. Um, but I mean, as a child, I have never had troubles, and I think every place has their own security, like their own dangerous places, whatever. Um, but I think I have never. I don't know how can I say it. I never thought about that before, like only after. And I think every place has their own bad zones. But if you are like, I think you get used to take care of. Don't use like too many stuff. I don't know. I
So
think we used to. I think we used to that. Like to take care of.
yeah, right. I get you saying yeah. And so I guess for people listening, she's saying like not wearing too much jewelry or anything that
Yeah.
can be stolen from you. Entiendo. I understand
Yeah.
that definitely.
I think you get used to that, and then you don't think you are in trouble. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm very curious. Let me ask you this real quick. Going back to when you were a child, do you remember what you wanted to be when you grew up?
No, I never thought about that. Never. I never was like I'm gonna be. I don't know. Whatever. Never. I never. I didn't even thought. I didn't even knew what to study until I was like 18 years old. I never knew what to study.
So yeah, so okay, so you're growing up in Mexico City and everything. Um, I guess what happens at 18. What do you decide to study?
Whew, well, I never knew what to study because you know that when you are in, I don't know, I think it's high school for you when you are in like you're 17 years old and you have to go to, well, when I was in the high school I never knew what to study, and I had to choose, how would you call it, like different, how do you call it, like, wait,
You
sorry.
had like different classes, something to like work on
Yeah, it's
specifically.
like zones, like the mathematic speciality, or I don't know how to say it, and then the biology stuff, and then there's story and law stuff. You know what I mean?
And entiendo, see. Yeah, yeah.
And I never knew what to study, and I was like, what I'm gonna study? I don't even have a clue. And they gave you these like they make you do exams, like a tests to see which one are your abilities and blah blah blah, to see what you can study, or maybe it what in what you are good for, you know. And of course in those things they never gave you the option of studying dance, right? So I remember I was really like worried about what I'm gonna study. And I get first, I was like, okay, biology, no. I was like, I started to what I don't want to, right? So I was like, okay, biology, no. Laws and story and blah blah blah, no. And then philosophy, and it's like, no. And then okay, mathematics, I think I don't think they're, I don't hate them, so I think I'm gonna choose this area. Area, that's the word. Sorry. So and when I was in that area, I thought, okay, I think I'm gonna study um, uh, graphic designer. But for study graphic designer, it was another area.
Is that like art or what?
It's, yeah, arts and philosophy. So I was like, okay, now I'm in a wrong area. 1 year wasted. So I thought I'm gonna study philosophy and then I'm gonna change my career to graphic designer, to be a graphic designer. But then in the meantime, I found out I meet some people that study dance, or they are dancers. And I remember, because I have always been, I like a sport girl. I used to in the low levels on the schools. I don't know. I used to do, how do you say it in English? Like runs and athletics competition.
Okay, yeah, like yeah, sports though, right? Sport deportistas.
Yeah, so I used to compete to jump and to run
Or like
and
track and field, like track and field.
yeah, but it's how do you call it? Athletic or I don't know,
I get you.
triathlon. I don't remember now, but
I get you. Yeah.
it's more this kind of stuff. So I remember once someone told me like if you like so much the sports and when you do sports and you have this kind of when you're doing sports and you have a sore muscle, and I was like, yeah, I have a sore muscle, that means I'm gonna improve, whatever. And you like so much to dance, I think, why don't you study dance? And I was like, what? Yeah, because when you're a dancer and you study dance as a career, you have to really love it, and you have to have a lot of resistance because it's a lot of pain, a lot of physical pain, a lot of also like a
Yeah.
psychology
It's
stuff,
like mental, psychological.
psychological resistance and a lot of stuff. And you love all of this, why don't you study that? And I was like, well, I have never thought about that. I have never thought about that as an option. So I study all the thing, if I could do it. I used to take classes, um, and I even remember to see, okay, I'm gonna be able to live about this, with this, and I make numbers like maybe this structure is winning this. Maybe yeah, of course I can live with it, like whatever. And I'm gonna study, and then I realized that that's why I never knew what to study because in the options it wasn't I couldn't find dance within the options that the people in the society gave you, right? So I was like, now I understand why I never knew what to study because in the options they never gave it to me, right?
Okay. Now I get you. Let me ask you this then, real quick. Um, how important is dancing and like the culture of Mexico?
In the culture of Mexico,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
well, not too much. I mean,
Okay.
all the people dance, but it dance like, like in the parties or all that. In that case, it is really important. Everyone dances. Uh, in some places they don't. Like most of the guys are the ones that doesn't dance. Because I don't know. I don't know what it is, but I think in general for the parties and from the uh, family parties and all that stuff, yes, it is really important. Most of the people dance, but for like a think about it as a dance, as a how do you say that? As a professional career or something like that, like a really go to a place to watch someone dancing and companies dancing and etc. In that case, I think it's Mexico is lacking of this kind of culture, to really appreciate the art of dancing and to really appreciate that, yeah, like an art and not just like a way of having fun. You know what I mean?
Get you. I definitely understand that. I definitely do. So so yeah, so you get introduced to these dancers and you decide to pursue dancing, I guess is your full-time profession, right? At 18.
Yeah.
So yeah, so what happens? Do you join a dance school, a dance company, or like what do you do from there?
Yeah, I joined into a school to study dance as a career. I study contemporary dance, and they give you contemporary dance, they give you ballet, they give you all this stuff, and then after my the school, I get out of the school and I start to study still, still ballet, still contemporary or jazz or etc. in other schools. And and I started to, at the same time I was teaching Cuban salsa and all this stuff. I get into a company that dances casino, that is the Cuban salsa, right? So I was learning this stuff from one side, and from the other side, I was really preparing myself like in a professional way.
Where did you learn casino at? Like, what was the name of that dance company or school?
I studied. I learned like with my brother, and then I get into some schools. And I think the main school and with the company that I was in, it's called Timba Casino. It's the school from the pioneer of casino here in Mexico City.
And
Well, I think in Mexico.
and so yeah, what was the name of the director? What was his or her name?
His name is Luis Martinez. Everybody called him El Indio. So he's known as Luis Martinez El Indio.
Okay.
Yes.
And so let me ask you this real quick. I'm very curious to hear from you. Um, real quick, how old were you when you first got introduced to casino? ¿Cuántos años tiene?
I think I had 18 years old. 18,
Okay.
maybe no, I think 17. Yeah, 17 years old.
Okay. So going back to when when you were 17, learning casino, what was your beginner stage like learning casino?
My beginner what?
Like your beginner level. What was that like for you?
Well, when I was starting casino, I used to dance with my brother in my house because I didn't have enough time. I didn't have enough age to go to the clubs. So my brother start dancing casino. So he practiced with me in the house, and then he left to go to the clubs. So he first danced with me, and he left to the clubs, and I was like, okay, I can't go, so go. Sorry. So I started like that, and then when I was older enough to go to clubs, I started to go to a place that it's called Marrumba here in Mexico City. And there, the Luis Martinez El Indio, the choreographer of the company, he was teaching there. Well, he still teaches there. So that's where I know him. That's where I met him, and then after I used to dance in another like a house of culture also, and because I increase or improve really fast, then I get into the company of Belinda.
Okay, okay, I get you. I get you. So you start practicing casino, and then you get into contemporary. And so I'm curious, I guess what happens after you finish that at school for contemporary? You say you got out and you started teaching casino and everything?
Well, in fact, the contemporary dance and the casino stuff was almost at the same time. I think first was casino, but I continue doing the casino stuff, and then I started the school. But then after when I get out of the school, I get into another school that it was for theater, musical theater. So there I started to study also dance, ballet, contemporary, jazz, tap, and and also theater, and also singing. Was more stuff, more art stuff.
Yeah, okay, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Um, and so you start doing all that. I guess let me ask you this then. So have you been consistently dancing casino since, about 17, 18?
Yes.
Okay, okay, okay.
Yes.
Um, Let me ask you this then. For maybe people out there who are learning casino and maybe would like some help on it. Do you have any words of wisdom or advice on how a lead or a follow could improve their Rueda, or their casino?
Well, I could. For me, I think because of I study dance, I'm very technical. Uh, and as I am a follow and also a lead because I had to teach and because I love it also. What I also think that is really important because you can know a lot of turns and a lot of stuff, but sometimes you learn to do the turns, but you don't learn to do it like thinking of your partner to enjoy, right? So I think for me the most important thing is to do it with clear, really clear, but with subtlety, really subtle, you know. So what I always try to make to people to improve is more than the turns. It's the way to move because if you really move, like with cadence and with a good flow, and you have the right tempo. When you have the right tempo and the right change of weight, it's better for you to understand where you can to make the marks of the turns, and to wait for them to or for them to follow you. You cannot just like make turns and whatever. You have to wait for them and to make them turn and to finish really well the turns and also add a little bit of flavor. If you're thinking just on doing turns, you're gonna forget about your partner and you're gonna forget about really dancing. So I think for me that's the most important thing about dancing, casino, or salsa, or etc.
I'll say probably a lot of what you learn in one can maybe be translated, especially for leading, right? What you may learn in one dance can somewhat be translated to leading in another dance, right?
No, I'm sorry, I'm not following. What? Can you repeat it?
I just saying, um, learning to lead, is something that
Yes.
you can translate to many different dances.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with you. But so let me ask you this then. So you said that you both lead and follow. I'm very
Yes.
curious. How can I say this? Have you found any benefits to learning both leading and follow?
No, yeah, it's everyone, every one of them. It's a lot of benefits to learn both because not only you learn like two languages, but you learn like the different side of both worlds. So like I was saying, for me, it's really important the making everything subtle and wait for them or whatever. And also, as a follow, you have to wait for them to make the turns, to not do everything by yourself. So for me, it's really important because I can understand exactly why I cannot do something or why I have to do it, because now I know what they will be feeling if I don't do it or if I do something wrong, right? So it is really important and to feel the other side of the corner where you are, right? You're trying to do something, and maybe some people it's like, I'm doing something. Why are you not following me? And then if you were in the other side, you will be knowing that you are not doing it well, right? So for me, it's really two different languages and two different sides of the world. So I think it's not only in the dance world that it makes you learn or understand. You get a different way of seeing everything, because now you think, now it's easier for you to try to put you in the other shoes of the other person, right? So it has plenty of benefits, definitely a lot.
Okay, and I definitely understand that. I definitely do. Um, so I believe, if I'm not mistaken, you were introduced to Kizomba. Was it back in 2013? Is that correct?
Yes,
Okay. I,
2018.
I'm very curious. I guess, how were you introduced to Kizomba? How did that come about?
Well, the first time I heard of the song, it was of the word. It was a friend that told me, because I was teaching already casino, and then one of my friends told me like, why don't we let's how he said, let's learn Kizomba to teach, and I was like, let's learn what? Like what? Yeah, it's really cool. It's called Kizomba with the Z, blah blah blah. And he said, look for it in Google, right? So I looked in Google and I loved it. I saw video. It's not really popular video, but I saw this video and I loved it, and I was like, I need to learn to dance this. But of course, in Mexico City, there wasn't dance. There wasn't this Kizomba. So I was looking for videos and stuff to learn, and uh, and then I realized that it wasn't a dance to learn by yourself, in YouTube or whatever. Because as a dancer and as dancing in different companies, you learn to dance almost everything. I have been dancing not just casino or ballet or contemporary, but maybe a little bit of jazz, a little bit of hip hop, tango, cha cha cha, or I don't know, almost everything. But then I found this, and I was like, there's no way to learn this. I need someone to teach me, right? And then someone brings people from USA, from San Francisco, and they came to give a workshop here, and they were two guys. So they taught me before their workshop for me to help them with the girls. So it was a really fast learning, because they need to teach me more than the regular, to be able to help them with the girls, right? So I really loved it. I learned a lot, so it was easier for me to to stick in it. You know what I mean? Like it catch me faster, because I learned a lot. So it was really challenging. Was really different. A totally different dance that I have proved, and I have proved a lot. So I was like, wow, I love it. I have to keep on it. I really loved it. It catch me for the challenging stuff, and the different feeling that has for all over the dances.
Real quick, what were the name of those two individuals who taught you Kizomba?
From San Francisco, one it's called William Walker, and the other is called Eric Bernison.
Okay,
They also dance casino and all that stuff. They are most into that, into casino, but they used to do both, So they came to teach here, and yeah, I love it. It was for how do you say, like, it was good that the thing that they taught was really Kizomba, because I'm in the casino stuff, and before that I was in reggae stuff and whatever. So I have always liked the dances of with from the roots, and as I learned the kizomba, as it should be like from the root and etc. For me, it was cool, and they bring this.
I understand that. I definitely understand that. Um, I'm curious. What is the Kizomba scene like in Mexico City? Is it a big dance community for it, or is it rather small?
I think now we are a lot, but the only thing here is that most of the people is dancing urban kiss. That it's like a different technique and a different music, and it's like is the different. It's similar between a casino and salsa on one or two. The music it's different, the technique it's different. It's more in line, and casino is always turning. It's more free. The music is more, more rich, uh, more musical, etc. I don't know how to say it. And so the difference is similar between that. So urban kiss, it's the music is different, the technique is really different, and I think it's more similar to like this stuff in salsa on one or on two, right? And kizomba is more like casino. It's more free. It's more turning dance. It's the music. It has more, like I don't know, drums is more rich in instruments, and here in Mexico City, it's the community. It's bigger in urban kiss, and now I'm before I was the only one that was teaching real kizomba, and now there's a little bit more people that is dancing kizomba, but the community of urban kids is bigger. So now when I'm trying to do, I have to do like socials or something by myself to be able to my students really dance kizomba. You know what I mean? But in general, if you are thinking about the urban kids community and the kizomba community in general, it's I think it's big. It's more than the I don't know. It's bigger. That's what I mean. I want to say it's bigger than you could thought. But then when you are making a social, some people it's like how can you say that? They are starting to get away from the community. They I don't know. I think there's a lot of people, but when you do a party, if you could bring all the people that dances, will be like a really big community. You know what I mean? But not all the people come, and not all the people comes to classes or etc. So it's still good, even though it's a lot of people dances on socials. Maybe in a social could be like 60 people.
60 or 16?
60,
All
60,
right, that's
right?
a lot. That's a lot of people.
Yeah, it's a
Six,
lot of
60
people.
people. That's a lot of people.
Yeah,
60, definitely.
like a good social, you could have like 60 people. If more people could come, will be, I don't know, double or maybe more. I don't
Oh,
know.
wow. Okay, that's awesome. That's awesome. So
Sometimes
so
I'm sorry. Sometimes the social could be like only 30 people. But if it's a good one, in a good day or whatever, 60 people in social. It's
that's
good.
awesome. That's really good. So
Yeah.
so you got introduced to Kizomba in 2013. When did you start teaching?
I started teaching in 2014, but all the people, because of the first workshop they was given here, I was part of the, I was helping the other instructors to teach. So all the people were like, okay, now are you gonna teach? And they know that I was a teacher before, casino, whatever. Are you gonna give classes? And I was like, no, I mean, yeah, but you were teaching already. And I was like, yeah, but I just started. I cannot teach. There's a lot of people doing that, right? But I'm a professional dancer, and my ethic as an instructor doesn't let me do doing that, right? So I keep learning, and then after the people was like, okay, give these classes and please blah blah, blah whatever. And of course you have to do something for the community to increase, right? So I started to teach with some other people just for a time, but then I had to travel, and I had an opportunity of dancing in China, and well, I take it. I didn't even know if I wanna travel to China, but I did it. So I left the I don't know, the project of Kizomba here, teaching Kizomba here. I went to China, and then I came back before than I thought, because I was supposed to be there 6 months, 6 months, and I break I break my the bone of my tiny toe, and I came back, and then I started to travel to New York. I lived for a while in New York, and well, then after I started to travel to learn more, to really learn Kizomba, because then I understand that there was a difference, between this thing that I was telling you, urban kids and Kizomba. And I really loved Kizomba, and that's what I started learning. And I started to travel to learn more stuff. I started to learn there in New York, and then I came back. And when I came back, and I moved to Cancun, and I don't know if you know Cancun. It's more on the coast in the peninsula.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So I moved there, and from there I started learning more to be able to really teach as I should, and yeah. So it happens like a long time for I really how can I say, I started teaching what I knew, but then I had to increase my knowledge to be able to be a really good teacher.
So let me ask you this then. I want to give advice to other teachers who may be new. Um, so going back to when you first started learning to teach, what are some things you know now as a teacher that you wish you had known when you first started teaching?
Mm, well, I think I think what it has been harder for me, it's to make a balance between the thing that the people wants and the thing that they need to learn. And I think, again, because I study dance as a career, I am really technical, and maybe also because of my childhood, my mom and my dad always like, you have to do everything well, and etc. I I think the hardest thing for me has been to know that the people that I'm teaching, it's they are not dancers, they are not trying to be teachers.
Full-time
They're not trying to
professional.
exactly professionals and etc. And for me, the hardest part has been to give a balance. I think most of the instructors go to the other side, like to the marketing stuff. You know what I mean? They want to learn crazy stuff. I want to teach crazy stuff, etc. And for me, it's like, uh, for me, I think that's the worst part of everything, because that's why you have crazy turns without technical, and you're like, oh, my shoulder, oh, my hand, whatever. So first of all, I think you have to really know to who are you teaching to. What are the the goals for that people of learning with you, and then after, for me, it's first go to the how do you say, the ground, the how do you say,
Like the basics, the beginning.
the basics, the fundamental stuff. And of course, I know that the people wants more crazy stuff, but if they really have a really good basis, they're gonna be able to do crazy stuff, right? um, so I think it will be it, like, to focus on learning really good your bases, to be able to teach them that. So if you want to be a teacher, and you really have like a you have to have a really good level to starting to teach, because when you're teaching, the people is going to be asking a lot of stuff, and if you don't know this stuff, you're going to just say something, and that's why a lot of people just learn whatever. So for me, that will be it, like, to have a really good level, and to also to focus on where they wanted to learn, where are their goal, and to have a good balance, even though they're gonna want to learn the crazy stuff from the beginning. You have to be you have to learn how to do the balance between that, so to be happy with your teaching, and for them to be happy with your teaching, to really have a good students, not just students. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I understand that completely. I definitely do. Um, Especially because you were saying, if you try and teach them something that they're not ready to learn, that's how people get hurt, right?
Yeah, it's if they are not willing to learn.
Or if they're ready, si no están listos, they're not ready.
Oh yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So if you're not teaching the techniques from the ground, it's you can have heels, uh, hurt, or shoulders, or I don't know, or maybe in the socials is like an elbow in the nose
Exactly.
or
Yeah.
something, because if you're not really, if you don't know the good technique to do that, you're not gonna think about anything, right?
Yeah. Let me let me ask you this real quick. Well, a couple more questions for you. So, in regards to, I guess we'll say kizomba, but really any dance. I want to kind of give advice to dancers right now. So I'm gonna ask you these questions. Um, how can we as dancers, how can we learn to connect better with our dance partners?
Well, I think of course in every dance you have to connect. I think definitely in Kizomba you have to connect way more and way better, but you have to think about the other. You have to you have to stop thinking about what are you gonna do. You have to think more about what are they gonna feel, right? Because when you're dancing kizomba, you have to give a hug, and you have to give a hug, and you have to give a like a straight like a firm frame, right?
So yeah,
To
frame.
to lead them exactly. And but if you're not thinking about what are they feeling, you're never gonna connect with them. You're just gonna be dancing for yourself with someone. So I think first of all you have to think about the other, not just what are they gonna feel, but where are they? Like they are in the possibility to do a turn, they are in the possibility to go back or to go forward or whatever. You have to see them, you have to observe, and you have to feel their also their energy, because sometimes you're dancing with someone, you have a lot of energy, and they are maybe tired. You cannot go crazy. You have to make a balance between your energy to give them energy, but also to low down a little bit yours to for them to enjoy the dance. So I think first of all, the most important part will be that, to listen, to observe, and to make them enjoy. It's not is If they enjoy, you're gonna be enjoying. But if you enjoy it yourself, you're gonna be just thinking about yourself, and then you're never gonna connect. You're not putting in the shoes of the other.
I understand that. I definitely understand that. Let me ask you this: for follows, can you give me any hints or tips on how a follow can improve, maybe her lightness, and also how to improve their Jenga?
Virginia. Well, specifically in Kizomba, I will say the most important part and the hardest part to the follows is to stop thinking. Uh, I think it's a thing of course, everyone is like always thinking, but but I think for the girls, we are kind of used to do to think about everything, what is next, what we have to do. Uh, and when you know that you can do it, you just do it, right? Uh, so the most important thing to let go is that it's to stop thinking, to stop trying to do the stuff because you know the stuff, and to start feeling more, to start to to listen to your partner, to listen in a way of the communication. Of course, it's not gonna be words, but the communication. What is he trying to sharing with you? What is he sharing with you? What is he trying to make you do something? I don't know. Or maybe also the energy. If you are able to understand their energy, to able to understand what are they doing with the music or something, it's gonna be easier. But if you don't stop thinking, what is next? What is he doing? Why is he doing this? What I should be doing? It's gonna be really hard. You're not gonna be a really good follow if you don't stop thinking, right? And then the second, it's to uh, for me, the thing is that to let him, to really let him move you, right? Because sometimes it's like, oh, I know what he's gonna do, and then they turn because they are kind of they are thinking, what are they doing, right? What is he doing? Oh, he wants me to turn, boom. Or maybe a hip movement. They start like a circle or something, or an eight, and then you're like, okay, now I know what is he doing, and then you start the eight, and for in that moment you already disconnect because you're not following him. Now you're doing the movement that you think you have to do, right? So for me, it's like I'm always letting them move my body. Of course, you cannot do that if you are thinking, right? But if you stop thinking and you let your body, you have to be ready for the movements, but not doing it by yourself. So if you really can understand, or if you get to a level to really give your body, like to be ready, but to wait for the movements, to wait for them to move you, that's gonna be fabulous, marvelous. And the other thing, it's for me, I always think to have a jinga, it's all the people comes and start to move the hip by themselves. Like, okay, hip, kizomba, boom, 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 that's it, boom, that, right? But I think it's the jinga. It's more on the mechanic of the stepping. So if you really have the mechanic of the stepping, and you can give a little bit more of you in the stepping, you're gonna be having your jinga. You just have to make it flow a little bit more. But you already have your jinga. But if you go and try to put movements just like that, that's gonna be awful. It's not gonna help you. It's not gonna. It's not. Maybe you're gonna have a movement that is gonna be kind of weird because it's not natural, and then also it's gonna stop you to feel the movements of the partner, right? So for me, it's all about the basics. If you have really good your basic, and you can let it flow and to put a little bit of your personality in it, you're gonna be having jinga, or you're gonna be having banga, or etc. Right? So for me, it will be, and to help them, to if you wanna walk, you can walk when you're dancing kizomba, and they're making you turn, but you're just like in your spot, instead of walking in the direction they are making you walk. Like if you were in a skater, you are pushing the floor to move you. But if you're just stepping in there in the place, you're gonna be a heavy follow, because they're gonna have to grab you and move you instead of just walking with you. You know what I mean?
I get
So
you. I definitely do.
that's gonna make you really good to follow. Of course, it's, as I was saying, it's all about the basics. But if you have your basic really well, you can start to work on something else.
Yeah, I understand that. Let me let me ask you this real quick. For leaders out there, how can they improve on or become, smooth leaders? How can they work on that?
Smooth leaders. I love it because when you're a smooth leader, it's like you really make your partner enjoy. She's not stressed or whatever. So I think to be a really good lead, uh, you have to first learn to follow. Because before you be a lead, you are a follow. Because I was saying before, when you're dancing with someone, you have to be sure that she's ready to do a turn. You have to be sure if she's ready to walk forward or backward or turning, or move the hip or whatever. So you can only know that if you are leading them, but at the same time you're following them. Because if you're following, you know that she's in the right way to turn. If you're following them, you know that she's in the right way to do a hip movement, or etc. So you're not gonna be needing more effort than the one is needed. Just gonna be turning, and then boop, and she's gonna follow because she's in the right position. But if you're not following them, you're just leading without listening to them, that you're gonna be needing more effort, and you're not gonna be really connecting with them. When you connect with them, because you're following also, all your leadings, all your marks, or guidance, whatever, is gonna be smoother. Everything's gonna be smoother. And I also, every time I tell them, every time you're leading something, first try uh, tiny and subtle first. You cannot start big and then become, like, okay, oh, she followed. Okay, now I'm gonna try a little bit more effort. No, you can try really subtle, and if she follows, she doesn't need more strength or more. I don't know. She doesn't need more. If she needs more, you start a little more strength, a little bit more guidance here, and maybe she needs help with the arm, maybe she needs help with the hand or whatever. But always start tinier, tiny movements, tiny, a little bit of effort, but with the right effort. If you give the right effort, you don't need to do more or stronger or whatever.
I understand that. Entiendo.
Mhm.
Let me ask you two more questions, okay?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. How how can we as dancers, how can we improve our musicality?
Improve on musicality. Well, I think first of all, you have to really listen, to keep listening to the music. um, First of all, you have to understand what are you listening to, what is the melody of the music. Sometimes you could be listening to the voice, and the voice itself has the own melody, and maybe there's also like a drums over there and they have their own structure, and maybe a guitar or something. So you can start to really listen to the music over and over and over, and to separate the different sounds, the voice. Before, you just listen to the voice, then you just listen to the drums, then you just listen to the guitars or whatever, and you can start dancing. Maybe the drums are the easier part, right? So you can start dancing just to the drums, just the drums. Try to wait for the drum and to dance with when the drum is sounding, when the drum is when you're
Like
listening
playing.
to the drum.
Yeah, when you hear the drums, puedo oírlo.
Yes. So you start with the drums, and then when you made it, you can go with a guitar, or you can go with a, I don't know, violin or whatever you're listening to. Then you can go with the voices. So when you learn how to uh, interpret the interpretation of the different sounds of the music, when you have a music, when you learn whatever song, you're gonna be able to do the interpretation of the different sounds. But if you I don't know, if you never listen to the music, sometimes there's a song that you have never listened to, you know you cannot go into a social and know all the songs that are over there. But if you know how's the structure of the drums, because you have been listening to the other songs or the voice or whatever, you're gonna be able to change to the voices for the drums or whatever. It's gonna be easier.
I understand. I definitely understand that.
You have to play with it.
Play with it. Yeah, yeah, it's a big thing. Let me ask you this real quick. Last question for you. Can you give me one tip that can make anyone a better dancer immediately?
Well, I mean, if you're thinking like to really immediately to be a good dancer, I think that's gonna be more like a way to think about it. Because I mean, the only way to be immediately a good dancer or a good whatever, it will be, I don't know, kind of magic. Maybe if you're thinking about the discipline and to be constant and everything, and you get into that chip, instantly you become a better dancer. But because your mentality already changed. You know, if you are a person that dances just because whatever, and you don't think about your partner or whatever, well, it's gonna be a lack of everything, right? But if your mentality changes in a way to I don't know, to go to my class, to go to more classes, to go to study more, to be more constant, or whatever. If your mentality changes, maybe in that way of thinking, you can become a better dancer immediately, right? But to really become a really immediately a better dancer as a technical way, etc., I think only magic. You have to be constant. You have to be there. You have to try. You have to not to give in. You know, you have to be there, there, and then uh, as soon as you know, you're gonna be a really good dancer.
Sure enough, I understand that. I understand that. um, so I guess that at this point, Gali, I really want to, thank you for taking time out here to speak with me.
Thank you for inviting me. It was really good. Thank you for contacting me. For also for making the time. Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Of course, of course, of course. Real quick, tell me this. What are some of your upcoming events? Do you have anything going on that you want to promote?
I'm going to teach Konpa into uh, into Montreal. Uh, it's a social that it's gonna give by Schiller and Maggie from Dance Select Canada. They are giving their Compa festival. Let me give you write the name. It's gonna be okay. Found it. It's a Festival International Dance Compa. It's gonna be the 19 to 20 of June, and in Montreal, Canada. It's gonna be really good. There's a lot of comp instructors. I'll be teaching there. This is organized for Schiller and McGee. Um, what else? What else? What else? What else? I think for now I'll be teaching in CADE. It's the Kizomba Harmony African Dance Experience.
Oh yeah, I
In
know Kizumba Harmony. I had them on the show.
Oh, nice.
Billy and
Well,
Monica.
yeah, they're organizing the CADE.
It is in Mexico. You're right.
Exactly, in Playa del Carmen is really good. Of course, the beach is amazing. The resort, the hotel they're doing it in it is really good. The food is amazing. The instructors, they always bring a really great instructors. They are really committed to a really good learning. So it's a really great energy. That's in I think it's 10 to 12 or 9 to 10 of December in Playa del Carmen, Cancun.
It's gonna be
And
amazing. That's gonna be really nice.
it's gonna be really nice, really nice. And well, I think for now those are the for now the ones that I'll be teaching in abroad. Yeah.
Real quick, tell me this. Do you offer weekly classes in Mexico City?
Yeah, I have classes in an area that it's called Condesa. I have classes Wednesday, Friday in the at night, 8:30, 8:30 at night, 9:30. I have a beginners level and I have intermediates, advanced level, and uh, and I also have a team that I'm training to do exhibitions. I'm not fan of the competitions because I think it changed everything, the essence of the dance. But I do want to do exhibitions, so I'm training now on Saturdays for the team. And yeah, my school it's called Kizomba Semba.
And so you said Wednesdays and Fridays, and
Yeah.
and where's it at again? Where is it at in Mexico City?
It's Condesa, Colonia Condesa.
Okay, okay, awesome. I'll make sure I put all the information for you in like the comments in the description when I upload
Thank
this.
you.
Of
Yes.
course, of course, of course, of course. And real quick, last thing, how can people get in contact with you? How can they reach out to you?
Well, I have a Facebook page. That it's called, it's my name, Galitzine, with a T and a Z in the middle, and it's Galitzine Kizomba Zemba Love. That's the name of my page, so it's kind of easier to find it that way. And they can message me there. I also have Instagram, as you find me there. It's also Galitzine Kizomba. I think it's also Kizomba Zemba Love. And yeah, I also have a YouTube channel that I try to. I really have a lot of videos that I had to upload. It's taking too much time for me, but yeah, they can find me there.
That's perfect. That's perfect, Galitzine. Um, See, like I was saying earlier, Galitzine, man, I really want to thank you for taking time out here to talk to me. I thoroughly enjoyed this conversation, and
Thank
I,
you.
I, I can really tell, how passionate you are about Kizomba and then dancing in general.
Yeah, I love it. I really
Yeah.
love it, and I now have found that it has changed my life and my way to I don't know, to feel, to dance, to everything. So yeah, I just I will want to everyone to know this feeling, the feeling of dancing kizomba that is really different of every dance. So yeah, I
Fair
love it.
enough. I understand. I understand.
Thank you,
Um, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. So I think this will do it for this episode of the Two Left Feet podcast. Thank you so much, Galitzine.
thank you for
Yeah.
everything, and thank you for the patience, for my English and everything.
Your English is way better than my Spanish, so estamos bien. So
Oh,
yeah,
thank
thank you
you,
so much, Galicia. Take it easy, all right?
thank you. Bye.
Ciao.
Soon.
That's all it is. Hey everyone, if you made it this far to all to the end of the video, I want to thank you so much. Um, my overall goal with making these interviews and these episodes is to give a voice to dancers, to give them a platform to speak their story. So if this is of value to anyone, then that means the world to me. My overall goal is to give value to the dance community. So if you find no value in this, then I urge you to please let me know where I can improve on. I truly want to, just give value and content to the dance community. So please let me know how I can improve, where I'm messing up, because to be 100% honest with you, I'm learning along the way as I do this. I truly am. So to be able to interact with the dance community, it means the world to me, because it gives me feedback and it lets me know what I'm doing right, where I can improve upon, what I'm doing wrong, which I feel like might maybe more important. So please, if you all could comment and just let me know what you think, it means the world to me, because that feedback just helps me improve. So please comment as well. Please like and subscribe. That means a lot as well. But I want to say thank you so much for just watching this, because it means the world to me. I want to take you on this journey of the Two Left Feet podcast. I'm very excited for it. So once again, thank you so much.